Hello guys, my name is Anna and I'm a Ukrainian, and I have decided I will vlog daily from my country Ukraine since the start of this awful war with Russia. And in my daily videos I try to update you on the important real-life situations in Ukraine, and of course I'm always glad to answer your questions and to clarify some facts about our history, our culture, or whatever interests you. And today I have decided to try to answer a very important question and to make a small update on Belarus. And the question is, will Belarus attack Ukraine directly? This is the question that bothers me personally a lot because the region I am located in borders with Belarus, and that's why we are quite alarmed. It is not the first time that we are concerned about the news. But there are some things that make me believe it is possible, things that make me believe it is impossible. But after the 24th of February, I'm eager to believe everything. And if you tell me that aliens are planning to land somewhere in New York or Kyiv, I won't say no 100%. I will have my doubts. So now I have these doubts, and perhaps let's start from the very beginning and from the Belarus part in this war. It goes without saying that today Belarus is a country occupied by Russia, but in a soft way, something that they planned for Ukraine before the revolution of 2014. And Lukashenko is a puppet of Putin, which is both, once again, good and bad. Good, it means that he is not independent and strong enough, and bad, he's totally dependent on Putin, and his future is closely connected to the future of the Russian dictator, because he is the only one to protect him from the global world and other kinds of problems that he has inside Belarus society. For me personally, and for the majority of thinking Ukrainians, Belarus is already in this war. And because they have given their territory for Russian troops, they have given their territory for weapons, for systems of missile shooting. Many Belarus soldiers also participate inside Russian army, and lots of attacks on the territory of Ukraine were actually made from the territory of Belarus. It seems to me that, for example, my city was shelled at the beginning from the territory of Belarus by Russian troops, but it goes without saying that Belarus gave them green light. From what we know, at the very beginning of this war, Putin wanted Belarus soldiers to participate immediately and to start together with Russian troops, but they were not very much eager. Well, first of all, because Belarus society is not that poisoned by Russian propaganda as Russians. They are less aggressive. They have more connections with Ukrainians, and I would describe our relations as more healthy. Moreover, you remember that it seems to me in summer 2020, they tried to have a revolution and to stop Lukashenko from being the longest dictator of Europe. It seems to me that he rules for 27 years, which is totally not okay. So anyway, in comparison to Russia, at least they have some movements, and there are lots of Belarus people who came to live in Ukraine and Lithuania. These are mainly young people who want democracy, who work in IT spheres and so on. They escaped Belarus and the regime. And for me, by the way, it was a very sad moment when I realized that their revolution failed, because to imagine a new Belarus so close to Ukraine would definitely make me feel safer. I am convinced that Belarus has a better future if we win this war, because inside their society there are lots of normal tendencies and they do feel suppressed under Russia. For example, Belarus language disappeared totally. Also, and I have to mention that lots of Belarus volunteers now fight with Ukrainian armed forces too. But now we see that Belarus army is extremely active, and at the beginning of June they started some trainings close to the borders with Ukraine, and 4 of our regions, my region, Volyn, Rivne region, Zhytomyr and Kyiv, I guess, are also in this top level of alarm. We have our Ukrainian armed forces and territorial defense pretty close to the borders. to be prepared in case something happens. Military experts differ in their opinions, and also if you listen to Lukashenko, you cannot make up what is his plan. But from what we know, they have these trainings, they have mobilization, and what is even funnier, they are trying to organize an analog of Ukrainian territorial defense. And in Ukraine, it was mainly because people wanted and needed that, and like thousands of people joined this volunteer movement. And in Belarus, it's obligatory, and they have called it People's Rebellion or something like that. And it is created under the control of Lukashenko on the basis of the organization of hunters and fishermen. So, from what I understand, Belarus soldiers and Belarus men are not that eager to join the armed forces and to fight against Ukraine. There were lots of videos, there were lots of information that some of their generals, they're against that. And many of Belarus military don't like the fact that they are ruled and controlled from Russia. And their intelligence services, I have learned the word, and all of that in general demonstrate that Belarus is not that hot about the war as Russia and Russian society and Russian military. But we have to be careful with all these trainings, because the strategy is very typical as they use in other parts of Ukraine. So for example, they will have aviation work first, then they will have artillery, and only then they will have soldiers on tanks. But the landscape, the territory of my region is very swampy and pretty difficult to walk, and we have lots of forests. And also I know that people were extremely prepared. They dug lots of trenches, they have cut lots of trees and put them on the ground, so it is almost impossible to cross the border and to move freely here. So this is one of the reasons. We even have this joke that after we win the war, it will take a couple months for people to clean all of that stuff that they made together with armed forces to protect Belarus from moving from the Belarus territory. Also, I think they are a little bit afraid to attack because it's really close to Poland. And also, I think that one of the reasons that can prevent Lukashenko from attacking is the fact that he is afraid that his society will go against him. He experienced something similar in 2020. But then a contrary fact is that if Russia loses this war, if Putin's regime falls, it's very likely that it's like 100% that Lukashenko's regime will fall. And now we are in this state of observation, and one of the main reasons why they may come here is not they already know this region, and the whole Ukraine does not support them. But back even in Soviet times, the opposition to Soviet Union was really strong here, and the reason they are very attentive is because the west of Ukraine, the gates for military support, for weapons, machines, and all of that things. So they want to target railroads, roads, and other to demoralize people. But at the same time, I think they are afraid because it's pretty close to NATO and Poland. I do believe that Poland realizes if they come here, it is very likely they will go on to Poland and other things. So perhaps we have to stop them. And one more thing that makes me feel a little bit safer is the fact that it's pretty difficult to have two fronts. They don't have enough strength to fight in the east and south, and they move pretty slowly. This Battle of Donbass is really hard, but at the same time they move slowly. And typically we are able to control them and to take back our territory, so they stay on one position, and it's pretty difficult for them too to open a second front. And history demonstrates that all the wars with two fronts are typically losing wars. So anyway, we have to be attentive, and we are asked to be super attentive when we have this air raid drills and not to ignore them because people are a little bit relaxed. And of course, we have more military on the streets now, more military in the forests and everywhere. So, but that makes me feel safer and better. Thank you for watching. Thank you for asking your questions and inspiring my vlogs. I value our conversations. Thank you for buying me coffees. And if you like my vlogs, do subscribe. Slava Ukraini!